Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak on the most important legislation pertaining to the human trafficking of persons, Prevention, Protection, Rehabilitation Bill 2013, which is quite illustrative and certainly is designed to curb the social evil of trafficking. Sir, I wholeheartedly appreciate the Ministry of Women and Child Development and the Honorable Minister who has put in special efforts and conducted various consultations with domain experts and civil society organizations in drafting this bill. The bill incorporates prevention, rescue, rehabilitation for various aggravated forms of trafficking like forced child labor, forced marriage, sexual exploitation, organ trade, forced surrogacy, forced begging, etc. And I feel for the first time it has given clarity to the term trafficking in the first ever in the history of India. This subject is very close to my heart, ma'am. And as in day in and day out, we keep listening to many stories of exploitation of women and children. And sometimes I feel very upset about the current situation wherein the laws are not stringent on this trafficking and the sufferers are, the victims are the sufferers and the actual persons who are actually committing this offense are left out without no punishment. Madam, sir, human trafficking is the third largest organized crime, as some of my colleagues already have stated, after drugs and arms across the globe. The 2016 NCRB statistics suggest that 8,132 cases of trafficking were reported across the country, with a number of victims rescued being 22,111. 45% of these victims were trafficked for the purpose of forced labor and 22% for sexual exploitation and prostitution. Sir, at this juncture, I would like to bring to the notice of this August House, draw the attention of this August House an article published in the Hindu which says Araku Valley's dark secret. Sir, this is a very pathetic situation wherein I come in from the constituency Araku, and it pertains to the trafficking of women from my constituency, that is the tribal areas of Andhra Pradesh, wherein lot of women and children are brought to New Delhi, Goa, Mumbai, Bangalore and Hyderabad, and it is done through a very organized crime, organized people who are committing this crime for quite a long time. Most of these women are being subjected to trafficking. Most of the women that are being subjected to trafficking are minor girls and minor children, and their stories are heart-touching, man. And I could not stop the tears in my eyes reading their stories. It's like I was quite anguished with the situation, and I met some officers and I tried to actually address this issue, but in vain, ma'am, because nobody actually took cognizance of this crime which is going on in an organized manner. So the bill, I feel, madam, this bill goes step further in addressing the issues of trafficking from the point of view of prevention, rescue, rehabilitation, and also defined aggravated forms of trafficking, which includes trafficking for the purpose of forced labor, begging, and for the purpose of early sexual maturities, trafficking of women and children for the purpose of marriage or under the pretext of this marriage or after marriage, etc. Recently, I have also attended a meeting of the survivors of this trafficking from almost 6 to 7 states, madam, conducted by an NGO called the Prayas. And these stories which the survivors of trafficking have narrated in this conference were very heart-touching, ma'am, and they have been subdued by the people who are actually involved into these organized crimes, and they feel that these people who are actually involved in these organized crimes are left without any punishment, and the survivors are subject to a lot of punishments. And they have also expressed the view of the timely justice is one of the major issues, ma'am. And some cases have been going on for years together. And if the victim's life is lost in attending the courts, if somebody wants to get married after this, they're not able to get married because they are subject to these court cases, and they have to go to the courts, and nobody will actually come to their rescue. So this clause must be emphasized. I appreciate the 90-day time frame for the completion of the investigation and the strong mechanism for rehabilitation of the victims. This clause must be emphasized and ensured that it will be implemented in true spirit, madam. And madam, I appreciate the move to constitution of a rehabilitation fund which will be maintained and monitored by a high-level National Anti-Trafficking Relief and Rehabilitation Committee. At this juncture, madam, sir, I would like to, through you, I would like to request the Honorable Minister that in clause 13.2, it says that the District Anti-Trafficking Committee shall consist of the following, namely the District Magistrate as the chairperson. But I would like to request the Honorable Minister through you, sir, that the Member of Parliament should be the chairman of this committee, because this is mostly a social evil. And we as the representatives of the people will be able to take this issue forward, and in creating awareness in the society as well as creating an impact, we will be more helpful,
Please
sir.
conclude.
Last paragraph, sir. I'm coming to the end, sir. It is also a welcome step to delink rehabilitation from criminal proceedings and enable extension of rehabilitation services to the survivors whose criminal proceedings fall through no fault of their own and who may not wish to participate in criminal proceedings at all. Protection of victims and witnesses is also a prerequisite to deliver justice. The bill is in its very procedure maintains the confidentiality of the victim, which I truly appreciate. The designated court may record the statement of any victim through video conferencing in any case where the victim is unable to appear before the court for the reasons of safety or confidentiality. To conclude, sir, the provisions listed in the bill are very important, and the enforcement of this legislation will help to curb the menace of trafficking in India, which is a social evil and which is affecting the lives of millions of citizens. With this, I support the bill. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sri Dharambir Gandhi.